Right, for decades, the Nigerian railway system suffered from underinvestment, dilapidated tracks, poor passenger service, amongst others. Today, that narrative is changing. With the current administration infrastructure development plan, railway transformation has been prioritized as a cornerstone for economic growth, social inclusion, and national integration. Major corridors like Lagos-Ibadan and Abuja-Kaduna have seen significant upgrades, while ambitious new lines connecting coastal and inland regions are in the works. The rail transformation is expected to significantly reduce travel times, lower transportation costs, and decongest Nigeria's overstretched highways. Beyond transport efficiency, the projects are creating thousands of direct and indirect jobs, thereby contributing to national employment and skill development. The Nigeria Railway Corporation is also in collaboration with other agencies, including the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative. This has also seen the unveiling and handing over of CNG buses and branded coach. Joining us to give more insight is the Managing Director, Nigeria Railway Corporation, Kayode Opeifa. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you join us.
Yeah, it's nice being there.
Great, great.
I just felt like I'm somewhere outside Nigeria.
Oh.
It looks like Al Jazeera.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Now, let's get into the business of today, talking about the Railway Corporation and also talking about the matter of the Renewed Hope agenda. How far have we come with the vision for a connected Nigeria based on the Renewed Hope agenda?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, TVC. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Let me say, listening to your intro, it's like everything has been said. Beyond laying tracks and moving people, Nigerian Railway is positioned for inclusive growth, economic development, and also to be at the center of the new Nigeria. When the president said he wants to renew the hope in the minds of Nigeria, the first thing that comes to mind would be the Nigerian Railway Corporation. As far back as 1898, up to 1912, even before the name Nigeria came into being, the Nigerian Railway was. And from that period to independence, the railway was positioned for economic development, growth, prosperity, and also for national integration. For people who had the opportunity to use the railway when they were young, I never had the opportunity. Even though railway passes, I walk on the track, but I never use the train. They tell you stories of how it takes them from Lagos to Kafanchan, Kutu Wenji, Unguru, Nakara, Namoda, to Enugu, to Aba, to Umaya, and the rest. And they have good stories. So under the Renew Hope agenda, the president looked at the history back to the independence and discovered that for almost 60 years, we did nothing much to change the narrative until the last 10 years. And in the last 2 years, what the Renew Hope agenda has done is to now focus on optimizing what we have, making that we have to work for us, to create jobs, to move farm products to the factories, to move them to where the people are. 3, to optimize what we have, to make sure that the railway is at the center of economic recovery, growth, and prosperity. Under the New Hope agenda, the government has also positioned the railway to be the engine room for building the interlands and the states by improving on the national rail system and removing the rail from the exclusive list to the concurrent list, so that it takes infrastructure development around the national rail system back to the people. So the states are no longer just using the rail. They are now part of the inclusive growth. Now the growth will now be inclusive. The young, the old, the women, the men. Because now it gets right into the lowest level. And the states are responding. Under the New Hope agenda, the president has also directed us to make sure the national assets entrusted with the Nigerian Railway is used for every single Nigerian. And by that is going to be unveiled soon. The new road, a new rail map that will show how various parts of Nigeria will become linked to the national grid. And that is what the developmental commissions that have just been established, the Southwest, the Southeast, the North, all of them are now working on their own rail plan to connect with the national rail and now create a mobility system that allows for inclusive growth. So that it will not just be one part of Nigeria. You know, we used to have the Western line, Lagos to Kano, Kaura, Namodanguru. Then you have the Eastern line, Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. Then you have the Central line, the one that passes through Warri to Itakpe on the way to Abuja. It's also being planned now that Nigeria will link the ports. The new infrastructure plan will make sure that all the major ports in Nigeria are now linked by rail into the center where you have raw materials, natural resources, the farm settlement, the factories. And by doing this, the Renew Hope agenda of this government intends to position the Nigerian railway as the center point of economic growth, inclusiveness, prosperity, and whatever you think of.
Rail transportation is, has been seen as one of the very cheap ways of moving around, freighting goods and so on. I wanted to ask you about the connectivity because I know about the major rail lines of those days and the fact that it is necessary for us to connect other rail lines to those major rail lines. Now, what interests me is when you said that the governors, the states are responding. How well are they responding? Are we having state governments committing major investments into this project?
Okay, thank you very much. Prior to this administration, you know, the rail system was placed under the exclusive list. And I can speak authoritatively, having worked in Lagos for 8 years. Yeah. From the Asiwaju's tenure in Lagos, there was an attempt for the Greater Lagos project to link Lagos, Ogun State by rail. Yeah. And all efforts to do that was thwarted. But I traveled to Abuja once to sign an agreement. We signed the agreement. 3 years after we signed the agreement, the president never saw the document. It was kept until the Jonathan government lost the election. Then a phone call came to Lagos that we should come to. They will be coming to Abuja to sign agreement with us. That was for the red line. So that was from Asiwaju's regime. You can see the frustration. Now under this new system, states now have the legal backing to go. But despite that, Lagos State, Rivers State, Cross River State still made attempt, but frustrated. Now under this new arrangement, you've now seen the red line running on the Lagos-Ibadan corridor. Yeah. That's under the new system called the Track Access Program. Okay. You now have Ogun State talking of linking, taking advantage of the same Lagos-Ibadan corridor for their own intra-city rail. Okay. So you now have what you call railing on the plateau. That should have started by now. We've done test run for about 3 months. And it will have started even for the last situation on the plateau. But it will come up between now and the next 2 weeks. We'll start railing on the plateau, where you'll be moving people from Jos to Bukuru, then to Kuru. That's not by the Plateau State government. You now have the one that will have started also, the railing on the Niger, except for the Mokwa flooding. Give it to the Niger State governor. He had made so much investment. And they will be moving goods from Niger State, from the farming project they're having, down to the port and to other parts of Nigeria. Now, the states are really cooperating. I must confess to you, Borno, Lagos, Ogun, Plateau State, and Niger State have moved ahead. The first meeting of the Southeastern Development Commission Council, where you have all the governors, the same issue came up, where Governor Soludo also made it clear that if we really want to develop the Southeast, let this commission concentrate on rail projects. I'm also privy to what is going on in the Southwest under the Dawn Commission. Even before the announcement of the setting up of the Southwestern Commission, the Dawn Commission had met severally, and they've already almost concluded the design for the Southwest. And April 16, they had a meeting, and I know tomorrow the governors' meeting is also going to be a meeting. So the states are really, it's expensive. And to help to assist, the federal government, even in the 2025 budget, made provision for grants. Kano, Kaduna, Lagos, and Ogun had are to benefit. If they've not received the grants, are to benefit. So states are now being encouraged to show interest. And for the first time, you see a national government backing infrastructure development, not belonging to the national government. You've heard of the Green Line, the federal government. So this is what is going on. Once a state governor shows interest as a plan, the two governors are asking to see me now, so that we deepen this discussion. Kaduna State is also having a robust program in the pipeline. Katsina is planning to take advantage of the new Kano Maradi GBR Funtua line, while the Kaduna State government is now working with Niger State government. We are planning to run Mina to Kaduna, bearing all us. By the time we get all this, some of these security issues that are in play will disappear, because once the train keeps running, these elements will move away from those areas. So the states are cooperating.
Oh, it's good to know. It's good to hear.
It's very interesting what you have said, about what you are doing so far. You said you didn't ride on the old.
I never.
Yes, well, I rode from Lagos to Kano during the youth service. It was, we used to call it Lokoja too far, Ibadan. Jagajuku. Because when there was one time we were riding it and we got to somewhere around Mina and the train started going back. And then it was Molwes is nothing. I mean, it was packed. It was packed, and we're going up and down and through the terrain. I wanted to experience it as a young man, and I told myself I will not take it again. When I was going back, I took a bus back to Lagos. Now, can you tell us? And we have gone a long way. I remember when I took the ride from Lagos here to Ibadan a few years ago. Good experience. Can you tell us where you met it after the rail, after the Buhari administration, and what you have actually done, what you have added in terms of vision and in terms of what you have put on the ground? I know that I've seen pictures of some of the rail stations in different parts of the world, and I saw you also, working on the tracks and things like that, some of the videos. Can you let us know so that people can distinguish, what you met and what you have done?
Yeah, let me first commend all the previous leadership of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, commend all the past presidents who added value to the rail track, and most commendable will be President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure before this administration, where we started actualizing the modernization plan. And that is, then in the last 2 years, what did we meet on ground? Like I said at one of the programs, I said not too good, but stable. Now is in stable condition and is recovering. So that's where I'll put it. In the meantime, what I'm saying is that there were a lot of efforts, there were a lot of expenditure, but the soul of the rail system itself was left out. And that is what we have decided to one, customer service experience. That's what you.
What is the soul? What do you describe
the soul of a rail transport is that it gives you, one, the cost, two, the comfort, three, the connectivity, four, the pride that you can stay in the train, relax, and have the safety. In the last 2 years, what we have done under this administration is to make sure we improve on the customer service experience so that we can bring the likes of SAM. And that is happening now. Number two is to work on that railing with the states so that we take the rail back to where it should be. Rail transportation should actually occur within the inner cities, intra-city rail, and then inter-city rail. And to ensure that we optimize what we have. What we have currently is a 157, 156 kilometer Lagos map. That's too short. So we have just completed a plan, it's on the president's table, to now move to Oshobo and off to Abuja. That is completing the existing line. Then also, this administration also completed the Apapa port. Apapa port to the standard gauge. Either to it was started but not, so it has been completed, and now we move cargo on the standard gauge as well as the narrow gauge from the Apapa port, and there is now plan to connect it to the Tinkan port. Then on the Aba axis, that is the eastern line, the Port Harcourt to Aba was completed, and commercial operation. You need to take that ride. Yes. I was on that ride, and I was told that I need to leave a particular coach before we get to the next station. That if I don't leave, the crowd that will enter the train will be so much that I will not be. I was shocked. All these people do is they pay a token 700 naira from Aba, Port Harcourt to Aba. They go and do their business. They say they're going to buy market. They buy their business. They do their business. By 4 p.m., they take the next train. They're back, and they're asking for more. By the time I met the two governors of Abia and Enugu, they are saying, please, when are we going to have more coaches? So also, within this administration, we have improved, we have started what we call the freight by rail revolution. Now we are moving huge amount of cargo by rail. We are moving cement, we are moving gypsum, we are moving soda ash, we are moving coils. The pipes that were used on the Ajaokuta Kaduna Kano project, AKK project, were actually moved by rail from Warri to Itakwe before taking them. So there are so many other programs actually going on, but the major one, railing with the states, optimizing what we have. There is plan now to rehabilitate and bring back the Lagos Kano narrow gauge. And when that comes up, all this fakafiki, on a much more modern line. Then we also started rehabilitating and innovating the abandoned old coaches. In fact, some of them will start operating now.
That would be nice. But I just want to, because of our time, to quickly touch on the collaboration with the presidential CNG initiative that is being unveiled very soon. What is being done and how would that improve transportation?
So the first thing there is to go green. I mean, sustainable transportation. The world is going green. We also signed to the 2060 vision to go green. So collaborating with the PCNGI gives us the opportunity to reduce our cost of operation. Diesel is a major cost. In fact, we are struggling to make to recover our diesel cost. So and diesel for us is running our stations and running the locomotives. We are still running on diesel. We are not on electric like the plow line. However, we have completed concept design to run on LNG, and we have tested that for 30 days. It's going to happen. All we just need now is to go into procurement. That is using gas.
CNG.
LNG now.
Okay, there's LNG.
Okay. And now on the CNG, they will power most of our generators. All our generators will now be powered on CNG. What that would do to reduce our cost of fuel by 70%.
Yes.
By the time we bring down the cost of operation to the railway corporation itself, what means that we will not be under pressure to increase the cost to the common people. If it's possible, we'll even bring it down. But first of all, it will put us in a situation that we don't have to start thinking of increasing cost of operation.
Does that also cover access to the CNG itself? Because sometimes there has been complaint, especially if you go to Abuja, a place like Abuja, you see long queues, people wanting to get gas. That's
a sign of prosperity.
Right,
in the mobility sector, when you see queue, it's a sign of prosperity. You know why? Those vehicles can run on both petrol and diesel. So if somebody decides to queue, he sees some value in that queue that at the end of the day, he could have just gone to the petrol station, buy the petrol store, but he has chosen to stay because he sees sign of prosperity.
But that's still also a problem.
However, no, I'm speaking as a mobility expert now. Okay. When we see those signs, we say it's a sign of prosperity. In America, when they see trailers, more trailers on the road, it's a sign of prosperity. That is, goods manufacturing is progressing, inventory is moving around. Now, in this case, what they want to leverage to remove that queue now is to use our facilities. We are all over the country. And our facilities are one of the largest real estate you have in this country. So they will be siting more filling stations within our compounds and our yards. They will build modern stations that will convert gas to CNG. They will also assist us in building modern stations that will convert gas to LNG for our use. Then they will also use our training schools. We have technical training school where we train young kids for 3-year program. On that TV, they will use our training school to deepen the diesel conversion technology. Don't forget, Nigerian Railway is one of the largest diesel consumers. And in terms of diesel engineering and technology, we are one of the the best in this country, except for big companies like the Dangote, the Boak, and the rest. So those are the things they will leverage on. That we will now use that expertise that we have. We use the connectivity we have. We use the large availability we have to increase the accessibility and availability of CNG gases to those guys on the queue. So it will help in making that queue to disappear. But I can tell you, the CNG availability is improving, is increasing in number. But with Nigerian Railway, within 1 year, I can tell you they will double their capacity because we have available resources.
Can you speak more on this Plateau thing?
Okay, Plateau thing. I was on the phone with the governor. The commissioner for transportation yesterday. They are eager. What they've done is immediately the president announced subsidies gone. The Plateau State government approached Nigerian Railway. Can you guys come and run all these lines that are idle? Then a partnership was established and a trial run was done. The Plateau State government invested in our infrastructure. That's why we didn't just to Kuru. Just to Bukuru cost about 800 naira. So the state government introduced buses and they were charging 200 naira. You know, that's not sustainable. So that was at that point they approached us. We now said, okay, we can also put the rail along the same corridor and charge the same 200 naira. And that will allow the state government to move these buses to somewhere else. So they have, you remember that coach that was taken from Maiduguri? And people said he stole. Yeah, that was exactly what happened. It wasn't a stolen coach. It was moving the coach in Maiduguri that was not working to Plateau State for use. That coach, those coaches are now in operations. And within the next 2 weeks, if we agree on the date, it will be launched. And people in Jos, that's one of their major actors. So they will be moving from Jos to Bukuru and eventually to Kuru. A distance that costs about 800, 700 naira will now be transferred. So that will put extra money in the pockets and will put a lot of pressure away from the state government. So it will now be a collaboration. We will provide the services, we will fund it as our own contribution to inclusiveness and national development, and the beneficiaries, the people that will be the people of
but from the way you're talking, I feel maybe we should just start tomorrow. You know, especially on the CNG thing.
Concerned about how do you secure this?
Yeah, security. Yes.
You know, we thank God. So far, so good. We've not had any negative. That means something is going on the ground. So we'll give it to our security operatives, the military, the police, the national. What do you call them? Civil defense. Now we have the forest guard, who will now be added into whatever. So we have a lot of local vigilantes, local communities. All our tracks are protected in addition to the conventional security system. They are also protected by the local vigilante. People have talked about using technology. We are using some element of technology, but more importantly, we have boots on ground. I want to say that so far so good. It's been working fine, and we'll continue to make sure we do more. We'll now introduce more of technology. And for those who talk of racketing, if the question doesn't come, our ticketing system is automated long before now, and the percentage of racketeering is going down. It's now below 5%. However, because of demand and supply, lack of redundancy, the pressure is for some people who have extra to say. I want to appeal to them.
To be patient.
So these guards will be able to address the matter of vandalism as well.
Yeah, okay. Vandalism is a whole discussion. Every day, every night, somewhere somebody is attacking our facility. Is giving us, and by the time we start running the lot, it will reduce. However, there are big men behind it who call our rail track scraps. They are not scraps, they are national assets.
Unfortunately, our time is up, but that matter would need to be addressed as soon as possible.
And I must confess, Mr. President is personally on top of that matter.
In the last NEC meeting I attended, the issue was done that they are going to create
Kayode Opeifa, Managing Director, Nigeria Railway Corporation. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you for bringing me to this market.
All right, still ahead on TVC Breakfast with lives lost and communities displaced. Can the service chiefs deliver peace where conflict has lingered too long? Join us after the break as we discuss the recent Benue killings. Stay with us.